Chicago Cubs, who are 5 games below 500 at the break. Really, they're still on the razor's edge of
They
buyers
sure
or
are. They
sellers.
sure are in that division.
I mean, just a couple weeks ago, you had your liquored up owner in a London pub, Tom Ricketts, proclaiming they would be buyers at the deadline. And just a couple weeks later, that is in serious doubt.
Bye, Mortimer. Bye.
Yeah, it's really it's their own fault. It's their by their own design, by Jed and Company's design that they're in this position. They they went out and signed a bunch of free agents, but they signed them with short-term deals with the idea that at this point in the season they could go either way. That was I believe their real strategy, and it's coming to fruition almost excruciatingly so. Especially with the Cody Bellinger, he would be a great asset to have going down the stretch if they're going to go for it. But he would also be a tremendous trade asset to move right now as he's picked it up again after his
Yep.
injury. But the most intriguing asset there that we have no idea which way it's going to go is Marcus Stroman, who we've mentioned many times in this podcast for varying reasons. But of course, he's got the opt out after this season. If he chooses to go, he can go wherever he wants. He's been asking for an extension from the Cubs publicly, to which the Cubs do not want to engage in those discussions publicly. Sounds like they're not engaging in those discussions privately either, as doesn't look like there has been an offer extended to him. So I think they're just holding their cards close to their vest. Maybe they have a deal in mind the week of the trade deadline that they could throw at him if they decide they're going for it. I think they can't make a decision right now because it's too close one way or the other, which is kind of hilarious to say because they are 5 games below 500, but they're still right there in just a terrible division that we've documented all season. So
yeah,
it's
they
go ahead.
I mean, at 5 games under 500, I think it's kind of like if they came out of the break and won like 10 games in a row, then it's back to that. No team should even, no matter what their ranking is in their division, I stand by no team should even consider adding unless they're 500 or better.
Yeah. Yes. Well, that just adds to how pivotal these next couple of weeks are going to be for the Cubs. I think that pressure might be getting to our manager, one David Ross, who had a couple meltdowns this week, both on the field and off the field. The first one, or the most recent one, came in New York this weekend, where he was ejected in the first inning after arguing balls and strikes and getting rather profane with home plate umpire. Is it Alex McKay?
Alex McKay.
You've got his quote pulled up there.
I do. This is a quote that made me text Smitty and say, I think David Ross should be our badass of the week.
Yeah, we could have included him in our badass of the week nominations. But do you have a David Ross impression? Do you have a voice that you use for David Ross?
Yeah, I can try here.
Yeah.
I can try. I mean, I sometimes magically pull these off, and you're like, "Wow, that's really good." Remember that random Ozzy one I did that time?
It's really good. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. You're building this up a little bit more.
I know. Now it's gonna be terrible, everyone. Just so you know, you got to be better. You got to be one goddamn game before a break, and you already have. I read it wrong. Hold on, let me try it again.
3, 2, 1, Rossy.
You got to be better. You got one goddamn game before you get a break, and you're that fucking bad already?
The best is we know that quote because it was caught by a hot mic in the real broadcast.
John Boy was on it like seconds after it happened.
Yeah, Michael Kay was complimenting him on his tirade. It was fucking hilarious. I love that was caught. The best part is McKay's just standing there taking it. He just has a blank look on his face, doesn't say anything back, just lets him get it out. Too much not to comment on, especially for a podcast like this.
Yeah, it's great.
And that was second in a string of tirades earlier in the week.
Well, this has history. This one.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with the series in Milwaukee. Maybe it was more than a week ago now, but there's some hijinks going on that David Ross was not too happy about. He was asked about it after the game, what was going on. We'll go through everything that happened that day, but the choice quote he had after the game was just too much not to ignore.
Yeah, and just for reference, this is specifically about the roof being closed in like what the seventh inning or something strange like
Yeah.
that. When asked about it, because there are specific rules
Yes.
surrounding it, this is what he said: "They're closing the roof to get rid of the shadows late. That was a lot of bullshit today, and that was really frustrating. I thought it was fucking horseshit, and I don't fucking know."
I thought that was a great reading. It didn't sound anything like David Ross, but
Yeah, I
that
don't
was an
even really
excellent
know what he
reading. So.
sounds like. To be honest.
He's got kind of a gravelly, kind of an old guy voice, but
They're closing the roof to get rid of the shadows.
even further off. But nice try. Yeah, there was some serious horseshit going on. I think he was spot on with all of his comments there, because not only was it historically bad home plate umpiring that game that both teams were really pissed off about,
That is correct.
opening and closing the fucking roof, that's strictly prohibited. You have to make
Yeah,
a decision before
that's
the
the weird
game.
part.
Yeah. The only case they can change their decision before the game starts is if there's serious inclement
Rain.
weather.
Yep.
And I mean, if you call sunshine serious inclement weather, then I guess I don't know what to tell you. You can do anything you want with your roof if that's the rule. But the sun was the only issue. They were trying to help with the shadows essentially late in the game. So I don't know how they got away with it. I don't know who allows that to happen. How the you'd think the crew chief of the umpires would put a stop to it, or who's letting that happen. I don't know how that works, but you could tell David Ross was equally exasperated.
I was reading an article where I was rehashing like this is this just a continuation of like all this shit that's built up? Like, remember the Sunshine game, but it was canceled, and Council
Yeah,
lost his mind, and
I thought of that
that there,
immediately,
yeah.
but that was like 5 years ago now. I mean, that was a different manager for the Cubs. That was under the Joe Madden regime.
Well,
That
yeah, and
was when Theo
it
was still
wasn't
around.
even
So
Joe Madden has nothing to do with the game getting canceled though either. I mean, it's just like
right, right.
I think it's an organizational like
Yeah,
bitterness.
we actually broke that down, I think, when that happened. That's not just a Cubs decision. The Major League Baseball is involved. The opposing team has to be involved as well. So it was ironic that it was a nice sunny day by the afternoon when the forecast called for torrential downpours, much like the weather you're getting right now there. But
It is perfectly sunny outside, by the way.
that's
And
awesome.
there was just a turn. I don't know if you heard it. There was just another tornado siren,
Oh, I
and
heard it a couple minutes ago. Yeah,
yeah,
that'll be on the podcast.
perfect sunshine.
Well, good thing we didn't cancel this podcast, much like the Cubs did the other year.
Yeah, we almost did, but
I
I stuck it out through the tornado siren.
You're a trooper. I like it that there's such weird shit going on with the Cubs and Brewers that it already is the best rivalry in the NL Central. It's not the Cubs and Cardinals anymore. It's the Brewers and Cubs because of that kind of weird shit. There's a lot of anger. Both teams are angry with the umps. They're both angry with each other. They're angry at the roofs. They're angry at the weather. There's lots of crazy shit. It's an always entertaining series now. So
True,
I
100%.
love
Yeah.
that.
Word Hole Media.